Right, filming. Good morning, Bernard.
And good morning to you as well. Good morning.
Would you like to tell us about today's walk, please?
Yes, well, it's going to be a revelation today because although we've walked over here many times,
yes,
we've never been into Trowbarrow Quarry, which is an area of outstanding natural information and all kinds of walks of various difficulties.
Yes.
And absolutely amazing place, so I'm really looking forward to it. So we're parking here on the road and we're going down into the trough, which was a quarry for limestone, which was then turned into tarmac down here by the railway, which is where we're going, and then we walk in a northern direction past Haweswater and eventually return through another national nature reserve, Gatebarrow and Yelland Hall allotment, and then across country heading south to eventually come along the Leighton Moss track past the New Hyde,
yes,
and back to the car. So it's 6 miles and hopefully we'll get most of it done before the rain.
Yes. Right, we'll look forward to that, Bernard. Right, after that introduction, some of our members have been helping themselves to the seasonal blackberries, which are very large and tasty at the moment here. It's a pity we haven't got time to collect some to make some pies later on, but we must walk. So here we have commenced our walk. We're hoping at least we'll be out of the wind, the rain, but the weather forecast could go either way. You never know, we might end up taking our coverings off and putting our sunglasses on. Are we lost? I don't think so. Let's give you a view of the finger post, giving our options to where we want to go. As you can probably see, we're in limestone country here. We often walk in limestone. There's quite a lot locally where we tend to go. Just filming this scene here. The trees make a lovely backdrop as the chaps wander off into the distance.
(1857).
What was?
The quarry were working here.
Yeah.
And 100 years later.
So now we're in the seat of the quarry, as we stop just to appreciate the surroundings. Down there you can see the quarry face that's left from the stone extraction.
Downhill now, I'll come back out. You're probably not interested at all, but I'll tell you, over here on this rock face, it's called the Gleaston group of Jury climbs, and then this is the main climbing area here, as you can see.
We're not going up there, are we?
Right up to the end.
Yeah.
and eventually we'll come to the inclined plane where the wagons used to go down, and there's a tallyman's hut, I think, still to be found if you look in the undergrowth. And the strata of rock were originally horizontal, and due to earth movement they're now vertical, so you find fossils all over the place.
There'll be a few more today.
Yeah, a big cluster here.
Looks a nice place
So
to work, this,
if
doesn't
you
it?
want to climb, we can, the first 15 feet of Jomo, which is over here, right, are tricky. The climb is split into two pitches by a big ledge. Right. After this it goes up a steep ramp and finishes with a move around a steep overhang. Oh, I like that.
Oh, we'll do that
Where
before coffee.
Yeah, it's over here on this right hand side here.
How long do you stick while they go up?
Mountain bikes
And nature is just taking over, isn't it? You know, it'd be totally bleak when you leave.
Now, we're using this rock here that apparently people used to shelter behind when they're blasting on the quarry, and we're going to use this for our group photograph. Just a departing view of the rock we've been discussing. Moving on now towards the rock face of the quarry. There's another large rock there. Not quite as large as the last one, but a large lump nevertheless. Just to further illustrate the point, you can see what's left of the workings from the quarry there, looking again towards the group walking away in the distance. Now we're just looking at this rather recently created dry stone wall, and perhaps wondering what it's for. It's a plantation of orchids, so the wall is really to deter you from walking all over the area where they're growing.
340 million years
Yeah, I
ago.
thought that was the period. Yes, I concluded that when I was walking up.
The rock unit which dominates the quarry is called what, please, Greg?
Sorry,
The rock.
The
which
rock.
dominates.
Limestone.
No,
Carboniferous.
come on, we want more.
As you can see, we're blessed with a local guidebook which is very informative.
Jeff, I was just going to say that was...
Which is north, south, east, west.
This is acting as a very important crib sheet for our leader, who is relating the information to us.
On the eastern margin of the
You can see the chaps all stood there, spellbound.
Excreted the inedible part, which look like sausages.
We stood here discussing what is the purpose of this box fastened to a tree.
Each man had his own pitch along the big cliff face. We worked from the top using rope to come down the cliff. We drilled or hammered holes in which to pack the explosives on the end of a rope on those cliff faces.
Just Bernard telling us a bit more about the operation of the quarry from the very, very useful
There was no
guidebook there.
There was no health and there was no...
Now we've walked away from the quarry area, going through this wooded area here. There's lots of different trees around Silverdale. I'm not quite sure what they all are. Referring to the trees, there seems to be a lot of yew trees here. I'm not too sure whether these have been planted or whether or not they're natural. Now this is the finger post on the entrance to a place called Trowbarrow. Forgive my pronunciation. It's one of our members just about to negotiate the style here. I think we may have mentioned previously that sometimes we have terrible trouble with badly maintained styles, but here I think they're probably quite okay. As I was saying, here's the Trowbarrow placard, call it what you will, with all the details on. There's just a close-up more of the map of the area. And go and see what there is to see. Certainly if you like your wooded areas, Silverdale is a place to come. There's footpaths all over the place, very well signposted, good facilities, and you'll see there in the distance our members walking towards the wood just up there. See the members there just walking towards the lake that's on this site. And we just stopped by the lake now for our first break of the day. There appears to be an actual log to sit in. There's always a scramble for the seats when we stop for our 11s. Sometimes we don't get them, sometimes we have to sit on the grass with our little rubber things that we carry to sit upon.
They're busy eating. I can't stand here all day, come on.
Yes, this is a meeting of the Sefton Ramblers Cow Appreciation Society. Yes, we're just pausing now to reflect on this pretty new bit of limestone walling. Of course, as we've said, rather appropriate as we've been in the limestone quarry this morning. No doubt where the said stones came from originally. Just a reminder of where we are, finger post wise.
Oh, what's your please? Oh, never expected too far behind us to pick you up. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I should have kept going. Okay. Swing mirror, that's it. Thank you.
Well, that was the vehicle of the presumably the wardens from the reserve. Just near mowing us down, not really of course. Here's a road here, we're just taking stock, regrouping. Public footpath and permissive horse route. Not quite sure how permissive horses can be, but there you go. We're continuing round the sort of perimeter of the Trowbarrow Reserve. I'll just show you another sign that may be a bit more informative about the various things you can see here. Yeah, there's a sign. If you're interested, you're probably best looking it up on the internet, but it's a very beautiful site, well worth a visit. We're just a bit worried about the weather. Some of us are wearing leggings, hoping it doesn't rain, but it's still quite warm. Anyway, time to move on. Now you see here all these gentlemen considering their maps. If you think that it's a nasty rumour put about that Sefton Ramblers don't know where they're going, it's perfectly untrue. Perfectly untrue. We try to make our videos interesting. However, one of my members had just informed me that he's seen this little shelter on far too many videos. But not to be outdone, it's on ours. Just another shot of this rather wonderful, well-kept lodge. Just zoom into the chaps there in having their lunch. Very good facilities hereabouts. Everything beautifully well kept on a conservation basis. The person who's doing this filming, i.e. me, had the foresight to put my waterproofs on this morning.
Pleasure.
And now the rain's here, so I'm vindicated at putting my waterproofs on. I've come out of the woods now and walking along this field now towards the roughly towards the Arnside direction, and walkers strung out there. The rain hasn't arrived yet, we might get away with it. As is often the case, we're in close proximity to the bovines, who we always respect and walk round very slowly and very carefully. Those black dots on your screen are all black cows. I would zoom in, but my hand will be too wobbly, so there's not a lot of point. I'll just zoom in on this man coming through the gate. Fine figure of a man. Yeah, we see horse chestnut tree that the couple of our lads are walking under now, all with conkers on. You can see here the black cows again, and in amongst them is, as you can see, little dots are our pheasant.
They're not just quite limber, they're not silky enough for a limber.